Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
We're on Instagram and Twitter. It's Pat and JT. 402-403-9478 is where you can text us. You can slide into our DMs if you want. That's just no D pics, please. That's a specific quote.
Well,
a specific request of yours.
We didn't think we'd have to ask.
I'm saying, you know what? If you're going to send them, please do, but don't. But if you do, expect a screenshot, and you're going to go on blast.
I learned my lesson. I blew it the first time. I mean, whatever.
Don't. Absolutely terrible choice of words. Absolutely awful.
Wow.
Of anything.
Of all the things I could have said.
Yeah.
I should have known the 12-year-old would run with it. Sorry for that.
And that right there in the first 50 seconds of the podcast, we have the name of today's podcast. Absolutely blew it. That is fantastic.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I'm trying to think what's been going on around everywhere. And I'm just like, I'm hunting for things. Again, I'm still in that dang lull where I'm like trying to find. I haven't started the Queen's Gambit yet. I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah.
So
haven't started any shows yet. So I'm just not at the mental capacity
Right.
to get past my housewives. Were the Salt Lake City housewives are awesome because one of the ladies is married to her grandfather.
what?
Absolutely fantastic.
Are you
yes.
step grandfather?
Same thing.
Really?
It doesn't matter. Yes.
I don't know
Yes,
this.
it's a step grandfather. It's a step grandfather, and they're very big in the Mormon church, and
Yeah.
their family kind of ran a church. And the grandmother, she married this guy a long time ago, so
Okay.
it's not biological. Married him for 25, 30 years. Second marriage, 25, 30 years. And before the grandmother passed, she told the father and the family and the church, I want you, granddaughter, to marry grandpa and carry on the family legacy with the church. So that's what happened. So granddaughter married step grandpa, and now I think they have a child.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to think that maybe it was just
18-year-old,
for
just
legal
moved to college.
reasons or something to keep things in the family. No.
Oh no, it took
it's been
consummated.
Deal sealed.
Oh yes, it took. She was
What?
oddly honest
Sounds
in
like
the first
something
couple
the
episodes.
Royals would do.
I know,
right?
Weird, but she said it was awkward. It took her a few weeks to get used to the idea of consummating the marriage. I'm like, you think?
A few weeks?
I would say a couple decades, but I mean, it's working.
But then again, if that's the lifestyle she was brought up in, it probably didn't take much.
No, it's just
to get to that point.
It's just a lot, but that's the
you think
trash
about-
that I watch.
I mean, you think
and I love it.
I'm kind of jealous right at this minute but I mean, you think about, because I like watching, you know what I like watching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything that's out there. And it seems like I've kind of ebbed and flowed with this because of other things that are going on, distracting me. And for some reason, I'm not able to find as much of that good stuff that I want to see. I'm seeking it out though. But, like the royal family, I love seeing documentaries, but more on the fun side, kind of like somebody who's taking a look at it, but having a little fun with it, as opposed to trying to be all newsy,
Right?
Right? Because I
Right,
want to
no,
see,
yeah.
I want to see I want to see the underbelly, because the royal family had all that going on because they had to have royal blood.
Mm-hmm.
So if they didn't have royal blood, then they couldn't be in the royal family, and
It just sounds gross.
it was a big scandal if you brought in dirty blood, apparently. Common blood.
Commoners are dirty.
Right? But then all along, they're also having their flings with the common women, as we
Right.
found out over time, and that still
Just like with politicians now, they get on TV and they're like, well, I'm faithful, I'm a Christian, I this and that. And they get in their jet plane and they go off to Argentina and hook up with hookers all over the place.
The story that just came out this last week, a Canadian fashion designer, his name is, of course, it's Peter, but I can't remember his last name right off. Nygaard? Anyway, he was arrested basically for the same thing that Epstein was doing. And he has an island in the Bahamas.
Good Lord.
I mean, it's almost like cut, copy, paste. He was doing the exact same thing. And in Canada, and also he had other homes around the world, but he had taken young girls because they wanted to be models or in the fashion industry.
Unbelievable.
And he had, get this, his number one girlfriend, and then he had another girlfriend and his niece. They were his recruiters because they were going out and finding young women And then saying, if you want to come, well, we're going to have, it's kind of like your interview will be held this next week in the Bahamas, and they pay for everything. And then they leave them there and like throw the poor things to the lion. Is what they basically did.
That's unbelievable.
He's basically doing the same thing that everything Epstein was
and
accused
he busted.
of.
He's busted.
He got busted,
Okay,
just
good.
this week.
And I'm sure there are dozens more out there doing the exact same thing right now. Now, really,
I tell you, if you are one of those people, and I know one of those people are not listening to our podcast, so I really don't care. And
if
honestly,
they are,
I don't
we're
want
on to you.
Right? That's just it. Is with everything that's going on right now, everybody is so much more aware, and I know it's just a dark conversation, but I hate that a lot of the stories aren't getting publicity about the children that have been found and
which surprises me that they're not talking about
the
it.
rings that have been busted worldwide, and they've got these rings of traffickers. It's not just people bringing, we know they have the trafficking and the coyotes from Mexico to the United States. That's just the ones that are bringing them in, getting paid to get somebody into the United States. But you also have people bringing them in and taking them to, quote, safe houses that aren't so safe. Right? And nobody even knows where they end up. But they found so many people, and and you see the stories, but they just...
Go away.
Nobody grabs them.
No, which is shocking to
and
me.
shines a light on them that has the power to do it. So I don't know. It just is frustrating. Yeah, it is. It's really frustrating. But then back to what we were talking about, finding out that all this has been happening. We knew that all along because we've been told that about the royals.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. No, yeah.
And their illegitimate children that they wouldn't claim.
That look exact. They're like, it's not mine. And it looks exactly. Like, dude, it is like you're looking in a mirror.
That child has royal blood.
Yes, guaranteed. I don't know if it's sanctioned, whatever, but it is your blood. 50-50, yo, at least.
Exactly. And it's just like that story, The Emperor Has No Clothes, It's like everybody just kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Nobody wants to point out. You're naked.
Right. Right. You don't have any pants on, dude.
Literally. Nobody wants to. I don't know why anybody, they go along with it. And even you think about like remember when the story came out about Epstein and the girl from ABC, the reporter, and she had everything. She could have absolutely nailed this story 3-4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago at this point. And they wouldn't let her do it because...
Vargas, right? Elizabeth Vargas?
No,
that her name?
It wasn't Elizabeth Vargas. I can't remember her name, but I remember she was sitting on the set, sitting back with her arms crossed, and she was talking to somebody, and she was just livid. She says, I had the whole story. I had audio, I had video. We knew all of this stuff.
I'm surprised she wasn't made to disappear.
Made quiet?
Yes.
Yeah. Really. And they set the story aside because the network would be...
Amy Robach.
That's it, yes.
Yes, because she's married to Andrew Shue. I had to Google Andrew Shue's wife.
She'd be really happy to hear that.
I know,
That's
sure.
how you know who she is. But because they would lose their privileges with the royal family because Andrew's name was attached.
So trashy.
And so they said, well, just put this on the shelf. So now there's finagling going on at that level. And we already knew that, the Harvey Weinstein stuff. Everybody knew that. But for some reason, out of sight, out of mind.
But these people are that do this stuff. They're such narcissists that eventually they're going to get themselves caught. They're going to, Epstein got it. They start doing it out in the open.
Yeah.
They stop taking
because they
precautions.
They're untouchable.
Right, because they get so many people in their pocket. They're like, I can do whatever I want, and then so eventually they'll get caught. This Peter from Canada,
right? Because
gets caught.
Yeah, you're right about that. People are either compromised, and we found that out about some of the politicians. Just recently, you've got the Republican governor in Georgia that it's like so questionable. Why did he do this? Oh, look at the contract deal you signed to bring in this kind of voting machine or do this. And he pocketed a lot of money, but that's why he can't go back because that's not proven yet.
Yeah.
But it will be if he opens his mouth. And then several other politicians too. It's
just disgusting.
They've been compromised.
Politics, royal family, all this stuff. It's just so dirty. And if people say it's not, you're living under a rock. Both sides of every single aisle, whatever political affiliation you are, your side is corrupt.
I can't remember who they were talking about a group of young people and I can't remember which organization they were with. Oh my goodness, I cannot. But anyway, they went to China as part of their training. And they said that right there, you've got, and they're in their 20s, and they're in China for 10 days, and they're being well taken care of. that somebody sidles up to them, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And next thing you know, okay, then they go back to the United States not knowing that they've been compromised
Yeah.
in some way or another, whether it's photos or videos or audio or whatever it is. And so then now they don't even know that they've been compromised. And then when somebody reaches out to them, this has happened. Somebody reaches out to them asking for a favor and they say, oh, you won't do this? Did you know we had this?
And then they send him a picture of,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. And
It happens over and over.
And whatever it is, whatever's true with Joe Biden's son, Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. I could see where it would be extremely easy to
Oh.
fall into that situation.
Yeah.
If you are a son or a relative of somebody rich and famous, and somebody offers you whatever's all the details are on the other side. But if it's just, this is what the facts are, you are Joe Biden's son, I'm going to pay you $600,000 to be on this board of directors for whatever oil company. And you don't,
No.
if somebody came to me and said, hey, you're Frank Safford's son, I'm going to pay you $600,000 a year to talk about trout.
Right. And
I don't know anything about trout. I'd be
Right.
like, sign me the F up right now. I don't care what. I don't care.
And they're just wanting to get closer to your dad.
right, whatever.
Like, whatever. Come on. But I will point out something that I hadn't thought of before when this happened with them. I don't think I think they thought Joe was done. So there wouldn't be a way to compromise. You know what I mean? He was he was walking away from politics.
Right.
And then he came back. And that's what shined a light on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
Because it would have stayed under the radar if he had not thrown his hat in the ring.
Well, and politicians in general, it'd be hard to keep your nose clean. It would be really, you'd have to be a really, because I know that a lot of these people on the surface,
Yeah.
they seem like they're extremely God-fearing. They have all of their ducks in a row. They're not going to be cheaters, but it would be extremely easy to fall down that road of being beholden to some company for whatever reason, because all this money's being thrown around and you want to take care of your family, and it would be really hard to not do that.
To think you can't just, we can get away with it one time.
Right.
And you've heard about Fang Fang, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So Fang Fang, for those that may not know, she is an operative, let's just say, for the Chinese government.
Do I still have a sound effect for this is where we start getting on this crazy? No, we don't have that
That's
anymore.
not it? Okay.
That's not it.
But anyway, and she was accused, or not accused, she wasn't accused of anything. She went home because they found out she'd been surveilled for years. And so they had all this evidence of all the people that she'd been close to. And then she was with somebody of higher stature. So the FBI let them know, which probably wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because then she got tipped off.
Sure.
And she went back to China. But anyway, along the way, she had actually kind of made friends with a couple of Midwestern mayors, small to mid-sized, or mid-sized to a little even larger communities, but not huge, but looking for people that were on their way up in the political chain. Mm-hmm. And if those mayors, looking at their pictures with Fang Fang, aren't seeing that there's a problem, there's a reason she's standing next to you.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. If the girl next to you, if you can say, "Oh my God, I can't believe this girl's in the same state as me," there's a problem. Yes,
There's
I get
something going on. I don't know what. Might just be she's intoxicated. Might be she's a spy.
Yep.
I don't know.
This all kind of ties back to the Real Housewives, because 90% of the dudes that they're married to have no business being in the same county as these girls.
Right.
Look, just straight up looks wise
Right.
and age wise.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Quite a conversation.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Okay.
we can.
I got to say Fang Fang though. So.
You did. There is, you know, in like around the 4th of July.
Yeah.
They have those big, huge tents that sell fireworks in Bellino. Is one of there's like 5 or 6 around town. Bellino is the big flag.
Oh yeah.
Found out yesterday that there's a house on, I think it's like Harrison, 84th and Harrison, whatever, that area, that it's this house that every square inch of this house is covered with lights. It's probably on about an acre and a half. Their trees are all filled with lights. There's animatronics in the yard. There's Ferris wheels. Like, it is puke explosion of Christmas. And there's
the Griswolds.
It's better
Worse.
than the Griswolds. Better, worse, whatever you want to say. Because it's like you walk into their yard. They have like a little place to get hot chocolate. Like, it's a little festival. It's awesome.
That's
and it's a
awesome.
private family home. Found out yesterday it's the Bellino family.
Oh my!
And it's the Bellino family, and
So this is 4th of July and Christmas,
right? It's like mixes both, and it's awesome. So if you're looking, because we were talking last night about going to Warner Park and paying to go around that display, which is cool.
Yeah.
And Linden Estates has some pretty great houses that are and
it's
West
crazy.
Shores.
Yeah.
So some local places around town that you can drive and take the kids. Because just staying in the car and taking hot chocolate and driving around for a couple hours is super fun.
Absolutely.
So that's Sorry, I'm not very good with my exact directions, but just look for the Glowy House around 84th and whatever, either Maple, Harrison, Dodge, Fort, Blondo, one of those.
Maybe somebody put it in the comments.
Maybe. Yeah, if you know where I'm talking about,
please help.
Yeah, please help. That's your half-ass fact of the day on the Pat and JT podcast.
Awesome.
We need to get that sponsored.
We do.
If you want to sponsor the half-ass fact of the day, slide into our DMs.
Right, in the comments.
Again, no D-pics. Thanks for listening.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.